year. I still think he's the first or second best player in the year. I'd put Durant over him. Durant's a better defensive player today, I believe. And I think he's more physically in his prime. You okay with me saying Durant's better than LeBron?
I don't have I don't have a huge, I wouldn't argue with you on that. I would still lean towards LeBron and then KD. Not much of a margin right there. But, you know, those two right there, that's about the extent. Like, if you try to tell me any other player is number one outside of those two, we'll have an argument.
Okay,
we have debate.
That's my thing. I have nothing against Harden, but he's not as athletic.
Yeah.
And Giannis can't shoot or handle the ball like those two.
Yeah.
So to me, it's still a Durant-LeBron league. And I always felt it was 1 and 2. I just think we've gotten to the point we've crossed, and Durant's moved a little ahead of him. I think some of it is Durant's a more capable defensive player on most possessions. I think LeBron,
I'll give you that.
He's saving some energy. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So I'm watching Ben. I said this yesterday, and I'll stand by it. You got to be careful in the NBA. You can't just look at what it is now. What's it becoming? Westbrook was a better player than Harden in the moment because Harden's game years ago wasn't as refined. But going forward, Harden is who you keep over Westbrook because it was becoming a three-ball shooting league. Embiid is a more refined player today than Ben Simmons. I'm not disputing that. But going forward, Ben Simmons is the NBA. You either have to be able to shoot a three or at an elite level be able to get the ball to guys who can shoot the three. Simmons last night with Embiid out, the lane not clogged, Ben is dealing, or finishing at the rim. If I'm the Sixers, Simmons, I don't think they're built for each other, Chris. I don't. I think as long as they're together, there's going to be a rub, and they'll never reach their full potential.
Well, that's what we don't know, but obviously, I think if it got to a point where they had to decide between the two, I think if you're looking for a clear upside, Ben Simmons and Giannis, those are two guys that you say if they develop a jump shot, they'll be virtually unstoppable. And for that reason alone, if Ben Simmons is committed and dedicated to taking his game to another level, there's a lot of holes in his game. If he repairs those, he can be a top 5 talent. And I'll say this about Ben.
God, he's good.
He's good. He's good. And when you compare him to Embiid, he's durable. Like, if you're building a team.
Embiid missed 2 playoff games against Miami. He missed last night. Do you know he's missed more games than Philly that he's played?
I heard you say that. And if you're judging by that, and he's a big man at that, it's hard for me to invest my franchise into that one player's hand.
I agree.
It's going to be really tough.
The game is moving again. It's moving away from Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Embiid. And again, there are 25-12 guys the minute they walk into the arena. I'm not denying that. But you've got to look at where leagues are. It's like in the NFL. If you start looking at the National Football League and what kind of quarterbacks, generally people want people who are more mobile at quarterback because of the new collective bargaining. Offensive lines get less practice, therefore they've deteriorated. And the college football's all spread out, so you don't have to run block much in college football as an offensive lineman. And I've heard people say this. All things equal, I want a quarterback who can move. Brady is not as attractive today as a guy that can move like a Sam Darnold or a Baker Mayfield a little. That's just the way the world works.
Well, he has a hell of a line where it allows him not to be, where he don't have to move. He can stay in that pocket.
But I'm saying is Ben is the future of the league.
I hear what you're saying. But he's the future of the league. But still, Ben, I think he would tell you there's some major holes in his game that he has to improve in. And if he does so, like I said, he's a top 5 talent.
God, he was good last night.
He
was.
Keep it up.
Oh, he was so dominant.
Got to keep it up.
Okay, so Jason Tatum. I was talking about this. There are certain guys in this league. There's the rookie contract guys, and then there's the veteran guys on their second and third contracts. And Jason Tatum's a baby, but I'm watching this Boston team, man, and they got the best closer in the East.
I agree with you.
I think they have the best coach in the East. And then
possibly.
I got to tell you, I'm just into Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him as a player?
I like his skill set. I think, man, you look at his one-on-one skill set. He's up there with anybody up there. But I felt like this season for him, for me, looking up at him and what I projected him to be, it was a little bit of a disappointment for me because he didn't take that next step up. Remember the year he had last year? He was the guy. Obviously, Kyrie Irving wasn't there and Gordon Hayward wasn't there.
See, I would defend him because I think there were 2 more mouths to feed.
Oh,
and I don't think – I think Jason stepped back because he's smart and he thought, listen, I got to get Gordon and Kyrie into this thing. Mm-hmm. So I think you can look at Jason statistically and say he pulled back. Couldn't I argue this was our tougher team to coach? Kyrie's ball-centric.
It is, but at the same time, you know, Colin, when you're playing for championships, when you're a good team, you're going to play with great players. And so at a certain point, he's going to have to adjust and adapt to playing with other players who are as talented as he is. And so I'm not down on him. I thought this season was going to be an all-star year.
Okay.
And then get to that point.
Okay, I'm taking OKC to win tonight. Can they still win? I think OKC wins tonight. I think they can win the series. Do you?
I don't think they can win the series.
Okay,
right
so they're done.
Yeah, I think, but I still think this series has the potential to go the distance.
But it'll be in Portland.
Yeah, it'll
so
be
you
in
would
Portland.
take Portland.
I would take Portland. As of right now, yes.
I think OKC is going to play their butt off tonight.
What have you seen to give you so much confidence that they're going to turn this thing around?
They have better players.
Are those players better together?
Portland's got a better shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not saying this with a great deal of vigor and confidence. I'm just saying, I feel like Indiana's done. I feel like Orlando's done. I feel like Brooklyn's done. I think Oklahoma City's got a pulse. That's all I'm saying. Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports, Insider, FS1 as well.